You can be in a room absolutely full of people and feel completely, achingly alone. A packed train, a loud party, a group chat that never stops buzzing. And right in the middle of all of it, a quiet little gap nobody else can see. Or maybe it's the opposite. A partner in the next room, friends a text away, people who, on paper, love you. And still, late at night, there's this ache that doesn't quite make sense. Like you're standing just outside a window, looking in at a warmth you can't seem to reach. And here's the part you've probably never said out loud. It feels like proof. Proof that something is wrong with you, that you're the one who's somehow unlovable, or just bad at this whole being a person thing. So let me say this right up front. You are not broken. You are not the only one. What you're feeling is not a flaw in you. It's an alarm, a beautiful, ancient, perfectly working alarm, going off in a world it was never built for. So get comfortable, because this is the story of why you feel so alone, even when you're never truly alone. And I promise you, what actually makes it quieter. To understand the ache, we've got to go back, way back, about 200,000 years. Picture your ancestors, not in a city, out under an open sky, in a small band, maybe 30 people, maybe 100. Everybody knows everybody. You share the food, you share the fire. Somebody stays awake while you sleep, watching the dark for the things with teeth. And here is the brutal, beautiful fact that shaped your entire brain. Out there, alone, meant dead. If the band pushed you out, if you drifted from the fire, you didn't last the week. No shared food, no one watching your back. One bad night, and that was the end of you. So evolution did something clever. It made being cut off hurt. Think about it. Hunger is the pain that makes you eat. Thirst, the pain that makes you drink. And loneliness is the pain that makes you go find your people before the being alone gets you killed. A researcher named Roy Baumeister put words to this. He called it the need to belong. And his big idea was that this isn't some soft bonus craving. The hunger for closeness sits right down there with food, with water, with shelter. A basic human need, not a weakness, a requirement. And there's a scientist at Oxford, Robin Dunbar, who found something wild. He noticed that across the primate family, the bigger an animal's social world, the bigger a certain part of its brain. Run the numbers for us humans, and you land on about 150. Roughly all one human brain can really hold as genuine relationships. But here's the part that matters most. Inside that 150 are smaller rings, a circle of maybe 50 friends, a tighter ring of 15. And right at the center, just 5. 5 people you'd call at 3 in the morning. Your brain didn't evolve to be liked by everyone. It evolved to be deeply held by a few. So if we're wired this perfectly for connection, why are so many of us surrounded by people still so lonely? And this is the heart of it. Your loneliness alarm does not count heads. It doesn't look around a crowded room and go, "Great, lots of humans, we're safe." It's measuring something completely different. The gap between the connection you have and the connection you actually need. So picture your ancestor again, by the fire. Every face she sees, she knows. Everyone there depends on her, and she depends on them. Now picture you, on that packed train, surrounded by more human beings in 1 minute than she'd meet in a year. And not one of them is your band. Not one of them is watching your back tonight. So the alarm does the only thing it knows how to do. It goes off. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your ancient brain is counting the people who truly have you and coming up empty. That's the loneliness in the crowd, the ache at the dinner table. It was never about the number of people. It was always about the depth. And then we did something our ancestors never could. We invented a way to feel connected without actually connecting. The little glowing rectangle, the endless feed of faces, the likes, the follows, the comments. And to your social system, this stuff is like candy. It looks like connection. It tastes like connection for half a second. But it's social snacking. All of the wrapper, almost none of the food. Because the connection your brain is starving for is a very specific recipe. Same time, same place. A real voice, a real face. Somebody who can actually reach over and touch your arm. A screen gives you the shadow of all that, without the substance. So you scroll through 300 friends and somehow feel hungrier than when you started. And here's the cruelest twist. A psychologist named John Cacioppo studied lonely people for decades and found something heartbreaking. When that alarm has been ringing long enough, it changes how you see everyone. You get watchful, braced for rejection. You read a flat text as, "They're mad at me." A quiet friend as, "They don't want me here." So you pull back, just to be safe. And every time you pull back, the circle around you gets a little smaller. The very alarm built to pull you toward people ends up quietly pushing them away. And an alarm that never gets answered. It doesn't just feel bad, it sends a bill. Let's start with the strangest finding of all. Does loneliness actually hurt? Like, really, physically hurt? So, in 2003, a neuroscientist at UCLA named Naomi Eisenberger put people in a brain scanner, playing a simple online game of catch with two others, just tossing a ball back and forth. And then, partway through, the other two just stop, quietly leave you out, toss the ball only to each other. A small thing, a schoolyard thing. And yet, when she looked at the scans, the part of the brain that lit up was the very same region that flares when your body is in physical pain. Let that land. Getting left out, even by strangers in a pointless little game, registers almost exactly like a physical injury. So when you say loneliness aches in your chest, you're not being dramatic. Your brain is processing it as a genuine wound. And it doesn't stop at the feeling. Chronic loneliness even tips your cells toward inflammation, as if the body, left out of the band, is bracing for a fight. And then there's the number that honestly stops me cold. A researcher named Julianne Holt Lundstad gathered up 148 studies, over 300,000 people. One simple question: do your relationships actually predict how long you live? The answer: people with strong connection had a 50% better chance of surviving the years that followed. 50%. In plain terms, being lonely, long-term, is about as dangerous to your body as smoking. More dangerous than being badly out of shape. This thing we treat as just a mood, a sad feeling we should quietly get over, is sitting right up there with cigarettes. Your need for people was never soft. It was always, literally, a matter of life and death. Okay, deep breath. Because I am not about to leave you standing outside that window in the cold. Here's the trap, though. When you tell someone you're lonely, what do they say? Just put yourself out there. Go meet more people. Download an app. As if loneliness were a numbers problem. As if the answer were just more. But you already know that's not it. You can be drowning in people and still starving. The alarm was never asking for more faces. It was asking for depth. So forget breadth. Forget the 150. Go find your 5. Pour what you've got into a small handful of people and let it actually go deep. Because the cure for loneliness was never a bigger crowd. It was a few people who truly have you. And feed the alarm the real food, not the candy. One real coffee beats 100 likes. A call where you actually hear their voice beats a week of little hearts. Same time, same place, a real human in front of you, even just one. That's the meal your ancient brain has been waiting for. Then make it a ritual. The alarm doesn't trust one big grand reunion. It trusts the small thing, repeated. The standing Sunday call, the same walk every week, the friend you text every morning, even just to say good morning. Reliability is the signal, being able to count on someone, and being someone they count on. Which brings me to the quietest secret of all. The fastest way out of loneliness isn't being entertained by people. It's being needed by them. Bring the food to the table, check on the friend, Be the one who remembers. Being useful to the band is being safe in the band. Contribution is connection. And if you only do one thing, do this. The next time you reach out and that old fear whispers, they don't really want to hear from you, don't believe it. That's just the alarm being overprotective. Assume the warmth. Send the text first. Almost always, the person on the other end was feeling exactly the same ache and just waiting for someone to go first. There's a study at Harvard that followed people for over 80 years, the longest look at human life we've ever taken. And after all those decades, the single biggest thing that decided who ended up healthy and happy wasn't money. It wasn't fame. It wasn't even health exactly. It was the warmth of their close relationships. The people who leaned into a few good bonds lived longer and lived happier every time. So you were never broken. Your alarm works perfectly. It's just been waiting this whole time for you to walk back toward the fire. So go on, reach out first. Let one person all the way in. The warmth on the other side of that window, it was always meant for you.